IPM is a whole farm approach to minimising pest and disease and weed pressures, maximising yield but minimising the pressures on the environment and any environmental footprint. And crucially, the pest in IPM stands for diseases and weeds as well as just the pests. There's lots of nice examples of IPM in barley, so that knowledge of your back cropping and your disease issues in the past lets you twist the rotation if take-all or stem-based diseases have been the issues, or trash-borne diseases. You could alternate the sowing dates, so that would be spring cropping as opposed to winter cropping if you were at high pressure of, say, Rhynchosporium or many of the weed pressures. Spring cropping would help alleviate that. And then it's really useful to think of barley along a timeline, so knowledge of your past problems lets you pick a good variety. And then once you're into the season, you can use things like weather information, crop walking, so what diseases and pests and weeds you're actually seeing, and then a more generic knowledge, so crop monitoring information, adopt crop information, to help you tune the pesticides that you're using. And then the final part of IPM in a barley crop would be about stewarding the products that you do decide to use. So you've minimised the amount of pesticides you would use, but then how do you steward them? So you would use mixtures and alternations of actives to try and minimise pressures on resistance. And that really lets you maximise the yields, but really minimise the pest, weed and disease pressures that you're seeing and the amount of pesticides that you'll be using. So another aspect you could consider in barley is nitrogen rates and seed rates are very important to the canopy structure and the weed and disease pressures that you'll see. So there may be conflicts there. So a high drilling rate will be more competitive against weeds, but would also give you a greater humidity and more disease potentially. So you have to recognise what your key risks are. Similarly, additional nitrogen will give you a softer, lusher canopy and could lead to more disease pressure. And again, you would just have to recognise that when you're assessing your own risks. So a good place to get more information about IPM in barley is to fill in an online IPM plan. So if you just Google IPM Plan Scotland, you will come into the Scottish Government website and find a copy of this IPM plan, and it takes you through that timeline of what to think about and when, and it will point out things that you're probably doing already, some new ideas that you could think about, and it's also a good source of additional reading and other information on integrated pest management.